This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available and printed in 14 states at your local cannabis retailer. And it's also available online, dude, at leafmagazines.com. I'm Mike Ricker, your host of Leaf Life. Welcome. And here is my co-host, Wes Abney, who you also might know as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJ OG.
Hola, aloha OGs.
And Mary J. White.
Baked with love.
Many people who enter the cannabis business see it as a great way to get paid to party. However, for those who wish to sustain a career in this fun and exciting Wild West, the best odds for survival are to adopt professional practices and then ride that wave to the top. This is how to be a great bud tender,
AKA a professional drug dealer.
Our first segment, welcome to the weed biz. And then in our second segment, knowledge is power. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated. So let's get stoned.
Let's go.
Alrighty, it's party time. And wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, drink up, get stoned, get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Greg the Guinea Pig. Who's our guest this week?
Greg the Guinea Pig warning. These tasks are undertaken by experienced cannabis users and under the supervision of accredited professionals. So please take our advice and definitely try this at home.
All right, ASHLEEN Aguilar. Can you believe it? The same last name as AJ.
Isn't that wild? We also realized our initials are the same because I'm AJ. I'm ASHLEEN Janelle. So it's AJ Aguilar. Two AJ Aguilars at the table.
Oh my
Two
goodness.
AJAs, a double dose, y'all.
Oh Lord.
Can you guys handle this? I don't know.
Lucky day.
You are now entering the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, for sure.
ASHLEEN is the co-founder of Take Root Training. It's a bud tender training company. ASHLEEN, welcome to the Leaf Life podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
All right. Well, now let's spin AJ's wheel to see what's in AJ's stash.
And now, what's in AJ's stash?
All right, ASHLEEN. She's clicking her fingers together. She's very curious to what she's going to be hitting.
All right, y'all. I'm going to dump these nugs out so you can give them a good look and give that bud tender approval there.
Let's check it out.
This is a hybrid by, it's actually sun-grown hybrid and
From Toasted.
It's by Clarity Farms, actually. I'm sorry. It's by Clarity Farms, but the brand name is Toasted, which is displayed first on the jar there. So they're very proud of their brand name. Clarity Farms it's Washington's largest garden, actually.
Yep.
And they do indoor and outdoor growing.
Nice.
So, Ash, this is actually loaded for you.
Awesome.
And you can see it at YouTube. By the way, we've passed 1,000 subs on YouTube. It's a big deal, you know.
And let me light that hemp wick.
Oh, yes.
First 1,000 is the most difficult. Now we're off to the races. And thank you, honestly, you YouTube viewers, I'm looking at you in the camera right now, for watching the Leaf Life podcast, much less listening to it.
Yeah.
You know, a new show every week, and we wouldn't have made it without you. So we love you and appreciate you so much for being a part of the Leaf family.
One more?
Oh,
Hit
yeah.
it again?
She's a double hitter, y'all.
That's my girl.
It smells good.
It does smell good.
Represented the Aggie lads well.
Well, it's like the first one you take it, and then the second one you taste it.
Oh.
Right? You know what I mean?
Nice.
I mean, the smell is so nice. You do kind of get that outdoor smell to it. Really earthy and delicious, but it smells like the sun's in it. You know, you can just tell it's a little bit different.
Yay.
Nice.
I love hearing that.
It's an Aguilar thing.
Aguilar thing, that's right.
That eagle vision, baby.
That's right.
So Aguilar is eagle in Spanish. I just got to say. So eagle vision, eagle senses. All
right.
the way.
Nice.
That's awesome. You guys have the same skin tone, the same smile. I mean, you could be related. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're Hispanic, right? I'm Filipino. So it's two different ends of the world, but
To some degree, but the Spaniards...
if you keep going back,
The Spaniards are the Aguilar genetic, and they came and conquered the Philippines and the U.S. and South America and, portions of the U.S. and South America. So, yeah, that's where the interconnectedness comes from.
Yeah.
And you're Angela Jordan Aguilar.
Angela Jordan Aguilar, AJOG, baby.
I love that.
And ASHLEEN Jill?
Janelle.
Janelle Aguilar.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah. Oh, we're off to the races. So
Nice.
welcome to the weed biz. For people who are getting into this industry, it kind of can be intimidating, but also at the same time, like going to an amusement park. Like there's a bunch of mystery and I know that I'm going to lose my stomach a little bit, right? But it's exciting and it's a new endeavor for people, especially young people, who are looking for not just a job, but a career. So where do they start?
Well, it's interesting, right? Because bud tending, you kind of have two different perspectives on it. People think of bud tenders and they think it's the entry-level position at the dispensary. They're going to be paid entry-level wages. It's just kind of a retail job, grabbing a product off the shelf for somebody. And then you start bud tending and you realize that's not it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to know so much about the plant.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know so much about how it works in your body, about how all of the different product types work. And there's just not that training. That training doesn't exist within the context of the dispensary.
Right.
And the trainings that do exist might be too expensive for a lot of people who want to become bud tenders. It might be just hard to find. And it's like another class that you have to sit your butt in a seat, take another class, take another certification. So we, at my company, we really wanted to find ways to make it way more interesting and accessible and fun and more compatible with stoners.
And there isn't this societal knowledge
Right.
either.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we've had alcohol for a long time.
Mm.
Right.
And bars kind of, for a good 100 years of like the same bar experience. Like you go in, the
Yeah.
booze is there.
Yeah.
Even at a dive bar, they can still make you a drink.
Right.
And almost anyone could learn to bartend if they want to just learn how to kind of mix things and
Jack and Coke?
Totally.
and be present.
Mhm.
Bud tending is so much more than that, like you said, where you're expected to have this knowledge of all these products.
Yeah.
The bartender hasn't drank every
Right.
drink,
Yeah.
but they'll make it for you and they
Right.
won't be upset about it. But when you talk to a bud tender, you kind of expect to be like, well, what's this like? And what's that like? And that's where it is work to get
Yes.
high
Yeah.
and know about the product.
Mhm.
It's not, like the bartender drinking in the back.
Drinking.
It's a
Right.
different vibe.
They can get caught flat-footed when a consumer comes in and asks questions, and a lot of them will fake it. Oh, well, this is a sativa that'll really get you euphoric and uplifted, yet they've never tried it and they don't know. There's an element of discovery that you have to imbibe in as a bud tender. You can't just pour a Jack and Coke because you're dealing with people's medicine.
Yes. And I actually took a brief stint bud tending because I wanted to see what it was about. And you're absolutely right. You don't just have to like pot, right? And what I found is a lot of people, especially in a medical, dispensary, they want medicine. They're like, look, my arthritis is acting up. What do you recommend? Well, you got to fucking know. You can't just say some shit.
And if you don't, you
Absolutely.
could really wrongly prescribe
Yes.
somebody, which is
Yeah.
the last thing you want to do. It's a bad look for the shop. It's a bad look for the bud tender. And the consumer's probably not coming back. So the bud tenders are on those front lines, and there is a certain degree of knowledge you have to have. So where do you guys take a place in that and making bud tenders more comfortable and, incorporating sort of a business acumen to what they need to know? Because it's not just a get paid to party industry.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So we've taken kind of a multi-pronged approach to this. We have a lot of different avenues where people can get involved with what Take Root Training has going on, and they can learn more about weed. We started with our online course. It's called Root Knowledge, A Budtender's Guide to Cannabis, and this is available to any individual or budtender who just wants to take a course. It goes over foundational cannabis science. It goes over all of the different product types that you're going to come into contact with, and then also sales and customer service techniques
There you
that
go.
might be unique to the budtending experience that is not in other retail or sales job experiences. So that's where we really started. Then we took that course and developed it into a program that dispensaries can use in their onboarding process.
Oh,
So
wow.
we took our 22 modules and divided them into 10. So it's 10 modules, 10 shifts. You can bring on a new bud tender and they will learn everything they need to know in 10 shifts when you use our program.
Wow.
Because it's not only using the online course, it's also bringing in games, scavenger hunts, role play scenarios, pop quiz questions between the staff trainer and the new hire to get them not only understanding the concepts in the course, but also applying it to the products on their shelves.
Oh, I love that you guys
That's
added
really
entertainment
cool.
and
Yeah.
fun.
Smart.
It's so key for stoner market. And also you guys have that funny podcast that you guys run, you and your
Yes.
sister. And I just love that. I love that you guys allowed your own personality, your own creativity to help shape your coursework.
Thank you so much. I mean, I was a bud tender starting in 2016. So it was the beginning of the industry. Dispensaries and dispensary management everyone's hair was on fire. They were just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to run the shop, how to not get dinged for some sort of weird regulation that nobody knew about.
Right.
Nobody was focused on training. The training that you got was compliance and it was in-store policies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what does this terpene mean, or how does this terpene being in this product change the experience of the product? None of that. So that was where we really wanted to come in and kind of get the bud tender thinking about the whole wide, full spectrum of what cannabis products you're going to find in a dispensary.
And the hiring too, from that perspective, is understanding that you don't just hire someone to stand behind the bar and sling beer. There's, I want this one, pull on the tap. You have to depend on those bud tenders as a hiring company. And like you said, there was no playbook. There weren't franchises. There weren't programs for this. So it was all made up. And there were a lot of bad experiences, both for customers in those early days, but also for bud tenders. People working for these companies either being taken advantage of or not trained properly. And not being trained in a job can be really not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially where it's high pressure.
And this whole go ahead.
I was just going to say, and what other industry have you heard of a sales job where they don't give you training about the product?
Right.
If you are hired as a flooring salesman, you're going to learn about every different kind of carpet pile and what the different fibers mean and do, So why is this not available yet?
It's like
for the cannabis industry.
I think it's very indicative of the evolution of the industry, because that's just where we're at. Like we actually have testing now. We have an idea of like the flavonoid and the terpene profiles and like the helix and like what is actually affecting the person who's partaking.
Yeah.
Before we just we didn't have that knowledge. So this is really cool to see the evolution. And I love hearing Mary's story about how she used to be a bud tender. How you explained that you used to be a bud tender. Well, it's because we're from the roots of this industry. I was a bud tender as well. I've grown, I've bud tend, the market, sold, like media. It's like many of us have done multiple segments within the market space because we truly love this plant and we wanted to be a part of this plant's evolution from seed to sale.
Absolutely.
And having that knowledge before stepping out to create educational programs for, bud tenders and for the customers is huge. There's a lot of people coming into this industry trying to create educational materials that don't come from the root of this industry and have no knowledge of this. They're coming from AI or tech and they're, trying to like make their impact or imprint, which is cool, but having the root knowledge all the way.
And knowledge is power, and that's what we'll discuss in the second segment. But first, Ashleen, it's time for you to play Would You Rather.
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Would you rather do?
Would you rather?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Well, don't be so energetic.
I don't know.
No, excited, be energized.
Listen, you might just get punked.
Yeah.
Stay up,
it's
Ash. You're not
right.
gonna get. You got this, Aguilar.
This is all about the entertainment factor.
You got this, Aguilar.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Greg the guinea pig, it's a guinea pig for a reason.
Okay.
So we got to try new things,
Yep, absolutely.
right? Experimentations.
Yep, innovation. Yep.
That's right.
I love
Thank
it.
God it's not a gerbil.
Really?
Spoken like a true white man.
Yeah, well, what can I do?
Say that, Filipina, Latina in the house. So.
That's right.
All right, here we go. Ashley, number one. Would you rather be an influential morning talk show host on a network television making a great salary, or an important influencer on the internet with a massive audience but little income and no health benefits?
Ooh, that's tricky.
Told you.
That is really tricky. My first instinct was to like poo-poo the morning show, but there's so much good that you can do with money.
Yes.
Like, despite having a huge influence on social media, there is so much that you can do that way too. But honestly, if you have a boatload of money and a platform, that's actually a pretty sweet spot to be in. So I might pick the morning show host.
Okay.
Which actually surprises myself, honestly.
Right.
Is that right?
Wrong answer, by the way. I mean, there's no wrong answer. But Mary's done it, by the way.
Oh,
Probably.
Mary and I were both in the radio for a lot of years, and Mary actually did mornings multiple times. And I'll say this. When you commit to that corporate environment, there's always a major compromise.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right? And when you have your own platform like Instagram, there's no compromise. Well, I mean, you can't put weed on there or gratuitous sex and stuff, but you have
The
your
fun
voice.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. It would definitely have to depend on the morning show then. Let me add that caveat.
There we go. All right, number 2. Would you rather travel to the past to witness a momentous history-changing event or travel to the future to spend a strange day in a dystopian society?
Oh,
Pass.
God.
I would rather go to the past.
Cool. Hey,
Yeah,
right answer.
I like that.
All right. And now,
After the conversation we had with Wes before we started recording about this dystopian future, I would definitely go to the past.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a true OG right there. She's like, take me back to the roots.
I took my tinfoil hat off for the show.
It was nice.
Yeah,
Oh, put it back on. I've got my tinfoil hat at home. I left it at home.
Tinfoil
It's in the
gang.
car.
And now number 3. Would you rather build take root training into the standard for budtender education that is recognized by the government as an important methodology that is imperative to transitioning the cannabis retail industry into a new realm of optimization, garnering a hefty IPO price for your launch on the New York Stock Exchange, where you ceremoniously ring the starting bell? Or come back for the second half of this episode of the Leaf Life Podcast.
Oh, come back for the second half of the episode.
That's a winner.
She's smart. Smart.
Making the ancestors proud.
That's right.
Hey, if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every single Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll dive into how knowledge is power for bud tending. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Who Does That with Mary J. White. Leaf Life continues in just a moment.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker or Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.